Hello humans, this is Random Wizard and welcome to the Random channel. Today we're going to be continue playing Wizards, no not Wizard's Choice. Again, why do I keep saying Wizard's Choice? It's not Wizard's Choice, we are done with that. Medieval Fantasy Rogue's Choice Chapter 14, Never Tell Me the Odds. And considering we're going into a combat situation, I would prefer to know the odds, honestly. It's raining outside, and while I have done my best to isolate it, I really hope this records fine, because I was playing, what was it? I was playing the Final Station DLC, and at that time it rained as well. And when I was checking the recording, it was just like, it was like kind of like a really low sort of like sound in the background. I was like cutting the audio here and there, and it was it was kind of just annoying to listen to, but I didn't really have any other option, but I had to edit it that way. And I just hope that doesn't happen here. My most prime series, the one that I absolutely love doing. Not saying that I didn't like the Final Station game, it was really fun, but yeah. So let's begin. Same by Sam Landstrom. We have already done all this. We were sold to Thog, and now the situation is that if we get to Thog, we will be dead immediately, and our soul will be captured and tortured and vanquished, or whatever they're going to do with it. So Rooster, or what was the name? Nikolai Shade. Weird name, but I quite like it actually. He is not going to be in a very healthy situation, let's just say, and in this life and in the afterlife. So it would be preferable if Rooster can get out of this. So this might have to go into like some combat situation. What about my sister? You asked Darren. My contract was sold. What of hers? Darren and Krugel share a meaningful look. The dark elf frowns and waves his hand. The water around him begins to ripple. Krugel makes a similar motion, and the water ripples near him as well. Deadly certainty settles into your gut. You try to negotiate with gold, even with the code Bonebrow. Wait. Deadly uncertainty. What does that even mean? Is she dead? Did they? Oh, they sold her sister too. Oh, I get it. This Thog must have bought her as well, and the Thog is going to torture her as well, and like just to like annoy Rooster. Well, annoy is not the right word. To torture Rooster mentally, that his sister is also getting tortured because of him. That sort of situation, I guess. So I'm guessing that's the case. Deadly certainty settles into your gut. You try to negotiate with gold. Even the code words Bonebrow gave you weren't enough. Now it's time to negotiate with the tip of a sword. Darren turns to a nearby scrying stone and looks into it. Krugel steps over his master's side to look over his shoulder. You still have your weapons, particularly your holy sword. Yeah, the demon is the closest. He's watching you. Darren and Krugel are a few meters away with their backs turned. You might be able to lunge and catch one of them off guard. I'm guessing that Krugel is like super OP. Not Krugel, sorry. The demon. Argos. And I feel like this situation might actually end up with us in a very fucked situation. So if we are going to attack them, if there's no way to wait, I'd rather go for Argos, because more than likely Aletheia is gonna help with him. So I think I'd rather not leave my back open to a fucking demon who is already aimed and ready. As soon as they move, he's gonna jump at me. So I think I'm gonna go with Argos. Demon Argos. The demon seems to be acting as their security, so it makes sense to eliminate him first. You draw your sword and charge. Your hilt vibrates and the blade glows white, as though excited by the prospect of slicing into demon flesh. That's a good sign. In a flash, the demon swings his trident up. The 3 points now in front of you. He has the reach. What do? Pat the trident aside and close in. Try to cut through the trident. Slide underneath to close in, and throw your sword. I think, let's see. Bat aside the trident, but if he has the sword in his hand and we swing at the trident to get it to the side, that's going to be, we're both going to be open to an attack, but we are going to be in a worse situation, I feel like. Try to cut through the trident. We don't know what the trident made out of. Normal swords and stuff do get cut, but I'm not sure what his trident is made out of. So I think the weirdest option here, except for throw your sword, would be slide underneath to close in. I think I'm gonna do that. Let's do that. You slide under just as the demon thrusts his trident at you. The 3 prongs swoosh past your head. The inch-deep water enables you to slide feet first and twist, swinging your blade. The demon hisses as he leaps back, but not before the tip of your blade slices clean through his leg. He screams at you in a foul language and thrusts his trident. You're already on your feet and parry the blow, knocking his hurried and panicked thrust aside. He drops his trident and draws his huge broadsword, but you're ready. You swing with all your might, dealing his body a solid blow that sparks as it cleaves through his plate armor, slicing into his putrid, oozing green flesh with a massive snarl. He shoves you away with one clawed hand, so he's not dead. At least that guy. I honestly thought that he was dead in the single sequence. I was like, holy shit, I've never been that good at this game that I would just kill someone immediately. But okay. Let's see. The demon swings his. Oh, my life decreased 2. Morale increases 3. The reason why I just like fucking had a brain gasm and was unable to talk was I was thinking it's raining really loudly. I was hoping the mic wouldn't pick it up. I was thinking of going. I mean, the fucking lead on the mic is fucking huge. It's like 10 meters or something. I could just go over there and sit down over there. So there's no need for me to just sit here. But regardless, let's just sit here. I'd rather not change my setup just for this. The demon swings his sword. You lift your own weapon and parry well. However, the force of his stroke is overwhelming and your own blade is slammed into your body. Oh, because he's using a great sword, so we attacked him but our own blade came at us. Got it. The force of his stroke is overwhelming and your own blade is slamming into your body, slicing into you as you are thrown back. Argos, do not slay him, shouts Darren. Demon hesitates. What do you do? I think we gotta press your attack. I don't think this is the only time we can actually. We have no way to deal with this, and I have 7 lives, so that should be enough. Well, let's keep attacking. Your sword ignites in divine light and nearly leaps out of your hand as you lunge towards the monster. He snarls and swings as you do. With a ring of steel and a shower of sparks, you sever his blade from its hilt and twist and swing again. With a I get it. So he hit the hilt and the blade got cut off from the rest of it, and then you just did a 360 no scope with the sword and swung it again. Got it. With a spray of foul dark blood, the head of the fanged toad sails through the air. His obese headless body falls to the floor with a squish, splash and clank. Your holy fire snuffs out, yet your blade still glows brightly. I'm not sure what holy fire is. Your holy fire snuffs out, yet your blade still glows brightly. I mean, I know my blade is glowing brightly because it's Alethia's thing, but what the hell is holy fire? Are they just talking about my spirit or something? Is that a convoluted way of saying like fighting spirit or something? I don't know. You turn to Krugel, whose lips are moving and his hands waving. The Truthsayer knows combat spells. Whatever he's working on, you have no intention of letting him finish. As you prepare to charge, a few meters away to your left, Darren raises his palm out, pointing at your face. That's enough, Nikolai. A few ideas flash through your mind. You're facing Krugel, so you could dive at him and do a somersault to close the distance. Wait, where is he? As you prepare to charge, a few meters away to your left, Darren raises his palm. I'm guessing that sounded like a command spell, honestly. And I feel like Darren is another one of those illusions again. A few ideas flash through your mind. You're facing Krugel, so you could dive at him, do a somersault to close the distance while dodging whatever Darren is planning. Another option would be to pull the dagger from your cloak and throw it at Darren. Dark Elf is currently at a good range for your throw. Finally, you can surrender. I think I'm gonna throw the dagger. If you can kill I don't think you can kill him, but it would just distract him. If you can kill the Dark Elf, maybe the Krugel will surrender. You whip out your dagger and throw. There's a blue flash as your dagger strikes what was an invisible barrier a few inches from Darren. The dagger falls uselessly onto the floor with a muffled clink and a splatter of water. Darren smiles, his hand still pointed at you. Did he use a curse or something? Suddenly your muscles temporarily tighten and you're frozen in place, and then you go limp. It was a command spell. Then you go limp, falling to the floor and your chin hitting the stone. Unable to control your breathing, even enough to hold your breath, you suck in the water pooled on the floor. That took too long, Krugel, says Darren. Turn him over, he's drowning. Someone, presumably Krugel, grabs you by your long wet hair and pulls you. By the way, this is the thing I want to talk about. I was looking back at my playlist, and the first episode of Rogue's Choice, there was a photo of our guy. If you go back and look at the first video in the playlist, there's the thumbnail is of Rooster's real face, and he doesn't really look that handsome. And doesn't really have that long of hair. Like they're explaining they're like huge, they're just lengthy or something, but they're not that long, just curls or whatever. I'm guessing you're supposed to lose this fight. For some reason it just looks like that, but I'm not 100% sure. But regardless, let's where were we? You're then flipped onto your back. Yeah, Krugel peers down at you, breathing hard. I do not know why the spell took such long time to take hold. I prepared the binding on him as soon as he broke the barrier in the guard chamber. Oh, right. Remember what I said about the gods favoring him? Said Darren. No matter, says Krugel, sucking in a breath of air. We should have taken his weapons immediately. He is more dangerous than he looks. I wanted him at ease, his guard down for easier conversation, says Darren, quietly, as though speaking to himself. So much for that, disarm him. It's a paladin's weapon, says Krugel. Yet he is no paladin. The sparrows were clear on that account, says Darren. Krugel crinkles his brow and pulls off his robe to reveal a pale naked torso with patches of graying hair. He uses the robe to pick up your sword, not allowing it to touch his skin. He sets the robe on the wet floor, smooths it out. He gathers your daggers, bow, and quiver of arrows and arranges them in the now soaked robe. Search him again, says Darren. I expect he may have some hidden armament. Krugel pats you down, quickly finds your leather pouch, but now you have enough mobility to slowly turn your head to see Krugel better. His eyes widen as he stares into the pouch. Gods, he certainly does have our payment. Put it back into his cloak, says Darren. That belongs to the Thog sisterhood. For the contract, body, soul, and all property reasonably obtained. Who would know, says Krugel, shrugging. Fool, we stand in a room full of scrying stones, and you ask that? Says Darren. Besides, robbing him was not the agreement. I will honor agreements made. We're not some two-bit band of brigands. Nor would we want to anger your precious god of law, says Krugel. Is there actually a god of law? There might be. Watch yourself, Truthsayer, says Darren, in a warning tone. I will not abide sacrilege, not even from you. Krugel nods reluctantly and shoves the leather purse back into your cloak. He rummages around more and pulls out Kriya's undergarments, holding them up. What's this? He asks you. You want to make a joke, maybe say something like, I only carry the essentials. That's a good one. Yet you cannot speak, your muscles useless. It certainly doesn't look like a weapon, does it? Says Darren, put it back. Krugel frowns and stuffs. I thought he said sniffs. Was like, he's sniffing that really right now? Krugel frowns and stuffs the undergarments back into your cloak. He pulls the puppet wire from your cloak and holds it in front of your face. I'm pretty sure this is ours. Put it back, says Darren tiredly. Krugel stuffs the puppet wire back. Oh, so they're just packing up our essentials, and when we get to Thog, and when we get into a situation where we actually escape from them, we're gonna pick up our luggage and get all our stuff back, like a, RPG. I think there was a sequence like, I mean, it's kind of like, in Skyrim, you sometimes get caught and you go to prison, and and in that situation you can break out of the cell and get your stuff back if you can. He pulls the puppet wire. Yeah. Krugel stuffs the puppet wire back. Go to the draining room, fetch shackles for his hands and feet, and a proper sack for his weapon, says Darren. I shall deliver him to those Thogian wenches personally. As Krugel leaves, you notice angry scars crisscrossing his bare back. Oh, so he was whipped as a kid, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what's the whole point about this is. Now alone with Darren, you watch him as he climbs the dais and waves a hand over one of the crystal balls, making it glow. Your ambassador was destroyed. Shed me another. Which ambassador? Oh, the fucking, what is his name? Fucking the demon thingy. He says into the stone. He stands motionless for a moment. His hands clasp on both sides of the orb. Seconds later, he lets go and waves his one hand over the stone again. The glow disappears. I've also noticed that this never, despite the first game being extremely, deadly in various manners, there's never been torture. Yeah, I mean, we see torture all the time. Even here we have seen it. But our first game's character was never tortured. Despite situations getting very close, that sort of situation never really happened. There was no direct pain involved as much. And we didn't lose as much life in the first game as we do here constantly, I feel like. So I wonder if they're actually going to have a torture scene in this one. Is our character actually going to get tortured? I'm not saying torture to death, because that would be just an end. And that wouldn't really make sense. So I wonder how they're going to go about this. I highly doubt they would, considering they're packing our weapons into a nice, neat bag. But okay. He says into the stone. He stands motionless for a moment, his hands clasped on both sides of the orb. Seconds later, he lets go and waves his one hand over the stone again. The glow disappears. He turns back to you. Gods, I hated that toad. I would thank you for slaying it, yet now I fear they will send me something worse. He frowns at you. The abyss contains all manner of horrors. Hope worse. You croak out as you struggle to straighten up your proper sitting position. Nikolai, I would have preferred to not have sold your contract. He says, looking down at you. The tales of your brushes with death grow by the day. Obviously, the gods favor you, and I told the council as much. Told them we should let you work your debt off, that you would be a valuable asset, valuable house agent. Yet the price offered for you was simply too high for them to refuse. He leans in close. More than gold. Says, oh, they asked for his sister. I'm guessing. Wait, no. So they bought his sister. I'm guessing they bought his sister and they bought him. What exactly did the Thogian promise them? Immortality or something? I don't know. Their darling is dead.